it is. We are going to be here any second now.
Oops, excuse me. Sorry about that.
Warren Sokol is here adjusting his chair. His chair is being adjusted. So, this morning, I was talking to the lads, which would be Eric and Andrew, and I was like, so what stuff do we have prepped? And because one of the things, the beauties of me doing these live streams, and hi everybody, hope you're all doing marvelously well.
Hello, Internet.
One of the beauties of doing this is like, when I do this, is like, I'm just a dumb guy. I'm just another guy that opens up things and tries things fresh. I like doing that. Because I feel like the first experience of using something is the most honest one. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? When you listen to a mix, like you're about to master something, or you're about to fix something, as we're doing here, you know, we're going to have lots of different examples to go through. Your first impression is your most honest one, isn't it? Because you get used to things.
Yeah, I think a lot in mastering, especially the longer I work on something, I think you get diminishing returns too.
Ah.
And unfortunately, the quicker, I shouldn't say unfortunately, but it seems to me the quicker you work,
right,
because of your instinct and that first initial feeling, it tends to be better.
Fantastic.
And if you sit there cooking it too long, sometimes you got to zero it out and start over to get perspective, I think.
Wonderful. Well, we have a lot of great people on here. I'm going to try and get this closer to you because I'm loud.
All right.
I'm a very loud person when it comes to microphones, but so let's make this a little bit more focused towards the other Warren. Now, this is going to confuse you. You've got Warren H and Warren S. The Warren and Warren. Who we got on? Alistair.
The Warren brothers.
The Warren brothers. Seeing double, says Adam. Kevin Job. I also saw that the peeps are on here too, so we can get some real. Hello, Tom. Hello, Zach.
Hey, guys.
Hello, AJ, Gautier, David. Wow, so many people. Mark. A Wyatt Wee Wee. When I was allowed, all the studios were powered by steam.
Now it's by sweat.
Not hardly. Hello, everybody. Dave Merkel. Hello. Wow. There's so many Academy members here as well. Toby, Alexi, Bill, Milton, Yowza, Gabor. This is fantastic. Dave Helms, Toby. I am doing marvelously well, Tom. Thank you ever so much. Warren Squared, says Brian. In northwestern Lower Michigan. Wow. Where is everybody today? PA?
It's always a little fascinating how it just comes from all over the world.
All over the world. It's amazing. Saskatoon. Is it a weird sound for anyone else? I feel like my ears have popped. I'm a peep, and Bob is my uncle. Yeah. No, thanks iZotope for being on this call. It's going to be absolutely amazing. So yeah, it's a double whammy. I'm going to be the dumb guy, and I'm going to like do stuff. But I also, the thing about Warren is he uses this software on a daily basis. So he's going to be able to do stuff and tell us stuff that is really going to take it to the next level. So it was very last minute, and I was just like, why didn't you join me and we use your expertise?
Literally last minute. I think I walked in at the last minute.
Yeah, at the last minute. So, Buenos Aires, France, Warner's,
Sweden.
Dublin, Sweden. I'm going to be working on it. I'm going to do both. Like and stuff. Green from Austria, Marietta, California, Hingerland, Mississippi, Paris. Wow. You thought RX-7 was a sports car. It is, and it's a great piece of software. Slovenia.
I had an RX-7 when I was in my early 20s. And,
you did?
I never put those numbers and letters together and realized
I hadn't even thought about it either. It's weird. I never think about that stuff. It's like band names. If you love a band, you don't quite. I mean, Red Hot Chili Peppers. That sounds like a band.
It was
playing.
ridiculous until it wasn't, right?
Yeah, it sounds like they're doing like blues covers or something, or playing like polka music. Yeah, we're the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
And then you get stuck with that. And you have to be the Red Hot Chili Peppers.
But you don't think about it, do you?
It doesn't matter after a while.
Does Hingerland swing? All right, marvelous. So let's do some work. Greece. We love Greece. Okay. We're up here. Hey! So
Israel. Somebody.
all over the place. Oh, somebody who bought a Tegel cream. So let's have a listen. This is the track that I've been working on that you may or may not be familiar with, everybody. Let's have a listen. saying?
So the vocal sounds really nice.
Yeah, it's good. That was a really inexpensive mic. What we decided to do is like this whole. One of the reasons for doing this, it's a huge deal for me, is to do real world stuff. We used ID4 and ID14, like inexpensive, like that thing there.
Mm-hmm.
Warren will tell us and prove that we're using it. So that is like $200-300. Yeah, unfortunately, it's all plugged in. So
That's a full interface?
yeah.
Wow.
So we recorded stuff using really inexpensive mics. We've been mixing entirely in the box. This session actually, up until now, has only been using stock plugins. You know, with a couple of different things that we've changed out, but really keeping it super dumb. As you can see, there's whole swathes of thing here without plugins, like tons of stuff.
That's great.
Like that here is for our vocal mic while we're talking, and that's got some fancy plugins on it. Otherwise, look at this. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, it's these kind of, we've been using stock things because the whole idea of doing this is so that people can understand that, yes, you can make music with I think it was a $250 microphone with like a $250 interface.
Nice.
We're keeping it super, super cheap. Now, one of the things that I have a problem with is this. And this happens a lot. Okay, so you hear that. Now, in some ways it's okay. Yeah. What it is, it has to be on the screen. It should be okay. In some ways, it's okay when everything's going for it, you know, and you've got, you've got a lot of noise and stuff going on. Look at that! You're different quick keys than me. I've probably edited out the front, so you won't see any noise in there. But
it's been a while since I've used Pro Tools regularly. So
that's quite all right.
May struggle for a minute or two.
It's quite.
Okay,
Yeah.
So I'm usually doing this in stereo track, you know what I mean? So this will be kind of nice to actually be able to do it on individual instruments. But with that buzz, with most noise reduction programs, if we're going to, like, the buzzing and broadband noise, if we have a second or two of just the noise,
right,
we can usually pretty transparently remove it from the sound because you can take, like, a fingerprint of it.
Right.
So that's what I'm checking for right now. Come on. Oh, it's on bars and beats, huh?
You can do it with that little tiny piece. Go to slip up there. There you go.
There we go.
It's pretty amazing that you could use maybe just that with RX.
Yeah. So literally, if you have a second or two, you can usually remove it. And we're just listening to this bottom one, right? So we can actually come over a little farther. The more you have, the better.
Yeah.
So, are we going to be running it as audio suite or?
You tell me, whatever you think, whatever you want to do.
Once again, when I'm using it, usually I've used it as the standalone.
Right.
Although it comes with the plugins of all the modules as well. So, what am I looking for here? iZotope.
Oh wow! Breath control, D-click, D-pop, crackle, DS, hum, plosive, D-reverb. God bless it.
Yeah, the RX6 doesn't have a lot of those specific vocal modules, which is the one that I still have at the studio as RX6. I'm needing to upgrade that at some point. I think they're on RX8 now, even.
No, I think this is the one.
This is the most recent one. Okay.
This is the one that we've got. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's see if we can.
So this is the Spectral D Noise RX.
Right. And I'm gonna make this a little bigger. Okay.
Fantastic.
I'm gonna open up the advanced settings, and I have kind of a 0 setting that I start at. So I'm just gonna kind of look through here real quick and.
So what you're doing there? You got the quality, fast and best.
Yeah.
You got artifact control.
These are kind of just different. Well, it's the quality level of it.
Yeah.
And depending on what you're working on, something like this is going to be pretty specific, so I want to go pretty high into the quality. Of course, the higher the quality, the more processing it takes as well, and the more latency, the harder it is to work naturally because you can't always just hear it naturally.
Right. So they're saying, and that's not always said, there's even a standalone application.
Yeah, and I usually do use it as the standalone when I'm editing.
Right. Just so you can see that's the iZotope.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I'm actually gonna take.
Now, I'm an idiot.
Extreme is fine.
So I'm an idiot, and I don't actually know a lot of these things. Like, okay, treat me like an idiot. What is smoothing? Because that comes up a lot in this stuff. What is that doing for me? Even if you just...
It's kind of...
musical noise artifacts.
Yeah, you know, like how if you press noise reduction, you kind of get the weird little... I don't know, somebody I know used to call them space monkeys. Little sounds, the artifacts of heavy noise control where you get the kind of this wispy, kind of out-of-phase sounding things.
Right. That's awesome.
Yeah, the RX...
That's a huge problem when using like Melodyne or Auto-Tune. You get the rip, rip,
yeah.
rip,
Yeah. When you push noise reduction, you get that because it's doing very, very tight bands of EQ down and up and whatever. And the smoothing helps to reduce the artifacts as well.
Oh, fantastic.
So you can press it a little more and not get as much of a artifact from getting the noise removed.
Right, fantastic.
Noise floor synthesis, once again, the noise reduction a lot of times will reduce the high end. Yeah. Because that's a lot of where, if you have just regular broadband noise.
Yep.
This will synthesize some harmonics to kind of bring the air and high end back, but not the noise.
Oh, very nice.
So
very smart.
I love the RX noise reduction, and to me, it's the one that I get the quickest, best results with because of things. Well,
that's lucky because that's what we're talking about today.
It's the one I use the most, and I do really, really like it a lot over the other ones that I've used.
For those of you who don't know, Warren is an amazing mastering engineer that we use a lot, and we've done lots of stuff with. And so if he tells me it's the one he uses and it's the best one, I think I believe you. No, this is good.
There's a lot of good ones out there, but I get the best results the quickest with RX, and I'm not just saying that because we're doing this. It is the one.
No, I'm not paying you. There is no money changing hand. He is not getting paid. This is so
bring that up a little bit.
Okay, so what are we doing? So we got this.
I'm just kind of setting kind of a 0 point.
Yep.
Once again, I'm still on RX6, so there's a couple newer things in here as well.
Right.
But I'm just kind of getting it to a 0 point so that I can go from there.
As Brett says, we're eliminating the schnizzle.
Good. Yeah, it's exactly.
David Gray says spectral smoothing reduces the amount of artifacts, but also can reduce the amount of noise removed typically.
Interesting.
So it's like a balancing act then. That sounds like.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so I've got a little area of noise there, and I'm going to find the learn button. Yep. Sometimes it's called a noise fingerprint or noise profile. Why are we not getting it here? Is it because those are locked together and I'm selecting 2 tracks?
Maybe. If you want to undo it, you can Shift Control G is degrouping.
Okay.
There you go.
Excellent.
Learn, and then there you go. So you want to highlight it again.
We just moved here.
There's your learn down there.
Okay. All right.
There it is.
Made us a noise profile.
Yep.
Now let's zoom out a little bit and.
And now you've taken a whole section.
And I'm just going to kind of give it some audio to play with there.
Yep.
So I can audition it. And this is a little bit different, once again, than what I'm used to with the standalone. Okay, so just with basic settings that we opened it up, I think I adjusted this from A to C.
Yep.
To make it a little more high quality.
Okay.
And then we added a little bit of the... Which one did we add there? Noise floor synthesis. So because what we're removing is going to take away the air, even though it's a bass track. You know what I mean? We want that clarity.
Well, I use the bass amp. To give me the high end typically because I use a DI because it's cleaner. So for me, the DI I didn't mind if there was a buzz on because I literally would just take the high end off of that and just end up because the DIs are usually cleaner, they're less likely to distort, etc. Now going through an amp, especially if it's tube, I've got all that extra distortion. So this is the one that I would typically want to do noise reduction on.
Gotcha. Okay, so if we just play it, here's what we're starting with. And once again, before even adjusting anything, we're just going to start with some 0 settings. We took a noise profile of just the buzz and the noise, and we're going to audition it. So it reduced it greatly.
Insanely better.
It also took some of the low end away.
Right.
Yeah, obviously it took a lot of low end away. So,
which actually for me doesn't matter because I actually, you'll notice I do this. I'm actually removing at about 200.
Okay.
So what you're actually hearing is it going through the processing with and without. Because if you play this like this,
straight track with any of
because you're
that.
hearing the straight track. This is the actual. And which is the play? Here?
Yeah, that guy right there. Yeah, so it's not going through the process. I was like, man, that's really killing it. What's up?
No,
okay,
it's pretty amazing. So here's the bass track before. And here's the after.
Can we bypass the plugins real quick and
sure
compare apples to apples for a second?
Apples to apples.
Still doing quite a bit there. Okay, well, there is something we can do with that.
Yeah, okay, please show me.
Our buzz is more than likely this little area right here.
Yep.
Notice how it kind of spikes up.
Yep.
So one of the things we can do, first off, is we can raise our threshold.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do it quite a bit because it was changing things quite a bit. Okay. On top of that, we can. I didn't mean to hit the learn button. Did it go away? Okay, good. That's not the right one. So where is it? Reduction curve.
Yep.
What that does is give us kind of an EQ line here.
Right.
We've got a lot of bass up there. I'm thinking maybe. I think when I took that information, we may have got some of the bass in there because that's a lot of bass.
Yeah.
What is the hotkey for zooming? I'm forgetting here.
I'm so weird doing it from the other direction.
Yeah. And mine are all with the arrow keys.
See, what I do is I would use always, I'm just like old school. I use this.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So you want to get the noise.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. So we need to find, because we denoised this as much as possible, but look at this.
There's
look
still
at
some
that.
in there.
Look at that nice piece of noise. That's pretty. That's better. What you want.
There's a little bit of a fade at that beginning part too.
Somebody's saying D. Bieber.
All right, so let's put the threshold back to 0, and let's take a new noise fingerprint. It didn't change much. All right, so I think we're gonna have to use some of that EQ curve thing I was talking about.
Okay, cool.
Which is, it's good. So what this curve is showing us, it says right across the top here, input is gray, output is white. Everything is kind of superimposed on each other right now.
I see that. That's great.
Noise profile that we took is the red line here.
Yeah.
Residual noise, what it's removing.
Yeah.
So when we press play, we should actually see the white and the black differentiate. Input versus output.
Yep.
Select
your audio.
So now we can see the active audio and the difference between the two. We can see that it's actually bringing the bass down.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so how do we exclude that?
We put on the reduction curve.
Yep.
And we're just going to click in there and give it a little dot.
Yeah.
And we can see where the bass is, the big frequency note. So if we look at the...
Yep, I see.
Here's 100 hertz, here's 1K, so...
Perfect.
Roughly around here. The 200 to 300 hertz area is we're going to make a little shelf.
Great. Oh, nice.
And do we go in the right direction there? Yeah, I needed to go this other direction. Right? Nope. So you can see the orange curve is the fingerprint that I took.
Okay.
And so I'm kind of EQing it down so that it's not going to trigger the noise reduction in those frequencies as much.
Wow.
Now, it's got a big, kind of a sketchy curve there, and you can, where is it? Smoothing of the reduction curve, we can round that out a bit.
Oh, what a fantastic, Hopefully that can be seen. There's a little key here where you can do, here.
Oh, excellent.
So if you press Control Option in New Pro Tools, you can highlight and look at
Is that
this
a Pro
area.
Tools option?
Well, it doesn't work on Pro Tools 9, so it must be.
Gotcha, okay.
It must be, because, so, I love that. That's fantastic.
Okay. So we brought that down. Now we're going to get less bass reduced. Whoops, not bypass. We want to...
Godshare says they want to do a debark plugin.
That is drastically changing a lot more than I'm used to. Let me see how that works as a plugin instead, and we'll give it the same settings. Because it seems to be really affecting the sound and not just the noise. And it may have to do with latency and all that stuff, running it as an audio suite.
I see.
So it's spectral denoise right there.
Yep.
And...
yeah, that curve is really instant. Is this similar to spectral editing? That's a good question. I do not know.
Yes and no. Spectral editing is usually when you're using the color editor.
You can see you're using it then, doing your EQ afterwards. If you're using it in the box, then to restore some body. Speaking of curve, there is a learning curve. Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm used to doing this on the standalone version, so I'm a little bit slow on here at the moment. So C, let's put this to C.
Yeah.
Come on, grab on there.
When you close out the audio suite here.
Is it going to give us the ability to work that more then?
I don't know.
That's odd.
Not sure why that's doing it there. God bless America. Did you...
Yeah.
I was wondering on that curve, was it maybe the opposite way to go? Had you gone, because it sounded like you had gone super thin on it, maybe you should have pushed it the other way.
Could be. Let's grab a fingerprint on this one here. I want to keep pushing my hotkey with the arrows to zoom in and out.
Bow dum bum bow dum bum.
All right, where was that break that we got that from? Yeah,
the area was
there.
Here, this big huge area here.
Okay, it's got this plug-in on it now, so we're probably not hearing it, right? Yeah, there it is.
There it is.
All right, and let's take a fingerprint of that. Why is it? That's why we got.
There it is.
All right, that looks more like the buzz I was expecting to see. I think.
Okay, good.
I think with the audio suite, we might have been getting some
my
latency off and on there, unfortunately.
Okay.
And I must not.
Okay, good.
As proficient in Pro Tools as I was 5-10 years ago. Okay, so I did give it a little bit of noise floor on there.
Yep.
Just to bring that up a bit. And so if we hit play now, we should probably get.
It's much better. Okay, now we're talking.
Is that looping? Okay, let me explain what I'm doing there. I turn on output noise only.
Right.
So what this is going to help us do is to make sure we're not messing up the bass. So with that on, when we hit play, we can hear that it's removing that noise. Once we hit the bass, there.
That's amazing.
So let's back that up, give it some time to start.
That's
Yeah.
really good. That's really good. Can we? That's really good. Can you exaggerate the noise reduction? I mean,
Yeah.
to me, that's perfect.
It's
That makes a
cleaning
huge
it up, yeah.
difference.
So if we push the reduction up or push the threshold down,
Yeah.
we're gonna get more. But I think our threshold's in a good place. So see how it
That was
scoops
massive.
it down.
Hey! All right, we got there. Sorry about our
Yeah.
learning curve there.
Took a bit of
It's
learning to remember how to do this in Pro Tools. It's
Yeah,
been
but
a while.
look, this is the beauty of doing this. Poor old iZotope are like, these guys are idiots.
It's so slow.
They're so slow. But look, I mean, the difference is massive. I know you're more subtle than me. I would just crank that shit up. I love as a mastering engineer, he like backs it down like, oh yeah, you hear the subtle difference. I don't want subtle.
I don't want to hear it go. You know what I mean? I need to.
Yeah, for me, you see, especially in a density of a mix, because for mastering, you want the subtlety. With us in a density, I just want to get rid of it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I actually did the reduction down, or the release, sped the release up just a hair. Another way you can exaggerate it, this thing right there, it's a bit of a harmonic buzz.
Just to answer Jacques, by the way,
I'm
Jacques.
sorry, I haven't been paying attention.
No, it's okay. Just to answer Jacques, when we press play, the microphones are muted. We have a software, the Mutomatic or something. So the noise you're hearing will be from the track. So let's try it again. This is good. See, Cliff says it's good to see our learning curve. Yeah,
Nice.
I would just crank that schnizzle, yeah. That's huge. That is absolutely huge. I still want to like crank it more. I'm sorry.
And well, you know what we could do
Yeah,
so that it
yeah.
doesn't mess with the bass as much is we could actually go in and, like, I'm guessing this right now. This is just a guess by looking at the curve.
Yeah.
But if we actually made, you'd have to make a point, and a point in the middle.
So basically move this
And-
up here.
Actually, no, here, let me show you what I mean. We can exaggerate
Yeah,
kind of the fundamental or louder frequencies of the noise,
yeah.
doing it the opposite curve
Okay.
that we did with the bass. Because it's a bass track, we don't want to remove as much bass.
Yep.
This will effectively remove the reduction level on those frequencies only.
Great. Let's hear it.
I don't like hearing that scoop down. But we're not able to adjust our quality control.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah.
There we go.
That's fantastic.
I like it better with the reduction curve in there too.
That's amazing. All right. Yay, well, we got there. So we're using the plug-in version, not the Audio Suite version.
Yeah, I'm used to this. There's a standalone version as well. When you purchase
Right.
RX, you get it's a editor of all its own.
Which we could do on a 2-track as well.
Yeah.
But the reason why I do this is because we're doing this with a mix.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to leave this on. I'm going to put all my EQ back on.
Great.
Because I'm doing tons of high-end boosts. So I actually want to hear what it does. I'll put that at the front.
Yeah.
That makes more sense. So
Can you just drag it up there? I don't remember anymore.
Well, what I'm going to have to do is move all these
Gotcha.
down because I put the EQ first. So now let's see
Still
what it does.
easier than what I have to do to move.
Now it's got the bass sound, the high end. I put in the DI. Huge difference. Let's turn it off and we'll hear the difference. I don't know what people are listening to on iPhones, on earbuds, or headphones, but that difference is massive. Here is with it off.
Yes, I am a recording workshop grad. I
Ah.
winter of '93. Good to see you guys, BW Sound Solutions.
Hey. All right, that's huge.
There's a bit of that yin-yang EQ going on too,
Yeah.
where when we take away that buzz, we get a bit of a filling out.
Yeah, it's honestly everything about that is better. So thank you, iZotope. That's now on all of our bass sounds. I'm going to have to go back and recall all my mixes. Absolutely love it. Now, what I love doing about this is like somebody was just mentioning there how they only do it on their master bus. I'm not that. To me, one of the things about mixing is I want to individually do. I know obviously for mastering you can use this. And
yeah, it works great for that, by the way. Not all noise reduction works great on
really dense program material.
Exactly.
Yeah. But what I love about this is I like to personally go in on individual elements and do things. I'm a mixer. I'm a producer. I'm an engineer. So for me, it's like a musician. For me, I want to like treat each individual element, make it the best it can be, and then I'm going to get a composite of something that sounds amazing. You know what I mean?
It's probably from the aspect of cleaning it up. You're going to get things cleaner too, because you're not trying to, when you're doing it on a stereo bus. Let's say you have 3 different types of noise across 3 different tracks that are noisy.
Sure.
Now you're going to have to do something much more complex as opposed to one of those at a time. You would have to use less, and it would end up cleaner.
It's
Once
amazing.
again, I'm always going for cleaner.
But look, let's be honest. Here's the biggest deal. This is something I want everybody to think about for a second here. Listen to this. Okay, so it's on and off. Have a listen. Here's with it on. All right, it's really freaking obvious when it's on, when it's really freaking obvious when it's off.
But that would be a hard one to remove out of a mix as well.
Absolutely impossible to remove out of a mix. But you know what the best thing about it is? I did not hear any phase shift on the low end, which is a huge deal. Because think about this, I'm using a DI and an amp together. Mm-hmm. So if that was screwing up with our low end phase shift.
That's very true, yeah.
That bass would have sounded like poop. The low end actually almost feels like you were saying better now.
I think it has a bit of a weight to it.
Yeah.
And I think it has a bit to do with it's a yin-yang to high and lows, you know what I mean?
Listen to it again. So this was with it bypassed. You're going to hear when it comes on. You'll hear there's absolutely no, there's absolutely no. Clint says, "You're killing me. Now I have 98 songs to remix." See you all in 2000 and... I think he meant 2020.
It's going to be so much work, he's going to travel back in time to get started.
I mean, Mr. Vertrex says, "Okay, I'm sold on it." I mean, look, you got 2 bumbling idiots. Well, me, I'm the bumbling idiot.
There's 2 of us here.
Yeah, there's two bumbling Warrens. But look, it took us 20 minutes to get it done properly, to figure it out. But now, like, what a huge thing. And that's what I love about doing stuff in real time, is showing you stuff like this.
Something we kind of got sidetracked on. Somebody asked before about it being spectral denoising, and is it the same as spectral editing?
I actually don't know what the difference is.
Yeah, and I started to explain it, and then we got sidetracked, I think.
Yeah.
One of the great things that comes with RX, when the guy says I'm sold, it isn't just the noise reduction. It's declicking, de-thumping, de-buzzing. It has all the vocal things. And then there's a spectral editor, which the actual waveform is not just amplitude and time. Its amplitude is color. So black would be silence, white would be digital 0.
Totally.
And it follows the rainbow, and you can change that rainbow.
Let's keep going through and finding the problems to solve. But first of all, we're doing a giveaway of this plugin. And I think what we'll do is you have a course on this stuff. We're going to give that away as well. Hey, Matt, throwing you under the bus. Matt's watching up in Canada. So we're going to give this plugin away. But not only are we going to give it away, we're going to give 3 of these away over the course of the next hour or so that's left.
That's great.
So, yeah, I know. All right, so thank you, iZotope. Have you noticed iZotope are also on this here? So if anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask iZotope, because they're here. Sorry, iZotope, throwing you under the bus. It's really fantastic. So... what I want to know, we like to know about our community. My first question is, have you used it? Yes, you can get this for free if you enter. All you have to do is let us know, have you ever used... Thank you, iZotope. Who is iZotope, by the way? Announce yourself. I am iZotope. Bum, bum, bum. So the question is, what... have any of you ever used iZotope or any noise reduction software? If you have, what is it? Oh, Microsound said he won the prize in the last stream. So the question is like, have you used it, or have you used another manufacturer's? We want to know about our community. So if you've used know if you've never used any. So have you used it? So no, you haven't used it yet. Yeah, I know. I'm going to use it. RX6, RS6, D-Breath.
Yeah.
It's pretty much seems like, let's be honest, it seems like iZotope dominates in this world.
Yeah.
I haven't seen anybody...
When they came along, it was affordable and just as good, if not better, as some of the standards. Some
of the really expensive stuff.
Right. That would be literally 10 times as much, and you got to buy it module by module.
Did you hear that? So... better than some of the stuff is 10 times as much.
Those of you who have used noise reduction in your mixing, how often is it necessary? How often? I know that's kind of a broad question.
Well, for me, this is the new world. I mean, for me, this is now something. No. What I'm saying is like I'm learning. Mm-hmm. This is going to be on our base from now on.
Right on.
I'm going to do it because the problem is like there is certain things. My studio, if you look around here. I have a light over there so people can see us, because otherwise it's going to go into pitch darkness. Uh-huh. We have the window covered at the moment, just basically because when we're filming at night, we get too much reflections off the window. So it's simple as that. People always asking me why that window's covered. But the reality is like I have got a schnizzle load of gear in here. I've got so much gear in here. We have lights up, and it doesn't matter what you do. As soon as you start running loads of light cables everywhere and stuff, especially external lights, even expensive ones, you get zzz. Yeah. Most people watching here probably have home studios. So they're going to have 60 hertz hum. They're going to have buzzes. They're going to have cables that maybe aren't the most expensive cables. So this is just a reality. And look, I've been to some of the best studios in the world and plugged in a guitar and got bzzz. This is a reality. So here I've just solved an age-old bass problem. Huge. So Matt, have you chosen somebody? Rockfox says, what? No schnizzle function? iZotope, can we do the Warren plugin, the schnizzle function? We're offering some of our plugins as rent to own on splice.com. We're going to stick to the suite format for now. I think the suite format makes sense because of the fact that we can do all this other kind of stuff. I'd be intrigued. Yeah. I'd be intrigued to try some other stuff here.
One of the things I was looking for, because you were talking about that 60 hertz hum.
Yeah.
If we're in America, you get a buzz at 60 hertz from the power.
Yeah.
In Europe, it's 50 hertz.
Yeah.
I wasn't finding the debuzz, or it might be called dehum plugin.
Right.
But it actually has presets for the 60 and 50 hertz, and it's not just the fundamental note frequency. Right. It does the harmonics, and you can add the harmonics or remove them, so you can remove all of the buzz that your particular home is.
Right. What I've got used to doing on the end of my guitars is actually run an EQ on them and then fade into it to get rid of the buzz. You see it goes dark there?
Yeah.
What I've had to do over the years is like basically take that, whop off all the high end, and then fade into it. So as the signal goes down, the buzz gets quieter. Uh-huh. And that's like, it's not the ideal way of doing it because it goes...
You're going to love having this.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to change my life.
So much easier, and so much
more. All right,
more.
Well, look at this. What is that? What is that?
Or a breath.
So the breath.
Let's use the debreath plugin.
Just to use the
By the way, I'm on RX6, so this is going to be, once again, you're going to witness the learning curve.
You're going to witness the learning curve. Warren, headphone bleed claims they make. Do you have any songs with bad headphone bleed? That's a tough one because, look, I'm a big fan of the extreme isolation headphones. They've got Vic Firth isolation, but they're more comfortable and they sound a bit better than the Vic Firth. So I don't usually get that much of a problem. Click bleed, I do get on acoustics.
Adam Fox has a good comment there. I love the buzzing hum at the beginning of Jimi Hendrix's Red House. And 100%. It's like a lot of my favorite records are Hendrix and Zeppelin and the Doors. Yeah. And obviously they didn't have this.
Yeah, it's all about context.
There's the vibe there, and knowing when to remove it and when not to.
I've got a good story for those. Thank you for bringing it up. Great question, Adam.
Excellent question.
Or
comment.
When I worked with Dave Sardi, he he had just finished Jet's first album, that really, you know, we're all over the DJ, all that stuff, and they added those things in.
I know a very famous producer that works in a lot of soundtrack music and stuff, but he will literally, in mastering, they add in some noise between tracks.
Right.
To not necessarily simulate an LP, but just so that it doesn't go totally dark and black in between songs and kind of keeps you there.
So, but here's the lesson. So what we would do, making those records, is our music was super clean. Everything was slamming, hit you over the head, but in the gaps, we left the noise.
Right.
So the noise wasn't in the track, so the track sounded phenomenal. They hit you over the head. There wasn't just this noise stuff, but we were getting rid of it or recording super, super well, but then having so it's interesting because this is something I want in the actual bass sound, because I can edit out in between.
Right.
See, this, you know what I mean? If I don't want to hear a buzz in between bump, 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 you know, and Leofred said there you can use Futzbox to add noise. You can add noise from other plugins and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's very true.
But what you can't do, until I've got this, is remove the noise actually contained in it. Because I don't want that. But I agree, as Adam's saying, it's nice to have that sound. We had things like, and it's quite well known on the Jet one, where you hear the guitar being plugged in.
Right.
But honestly, it's just dropped in. The rest of it is super clean guitar sound. So it's just to give you that illusion. It's like we talk a lot about drum sounds. If there's a moment in your mix where the drums are on their own, crank the room mic. So you, but you might not have the room mics that loud inside of the track.
Right.
But what happens is you get the illusion that it's there the whole time. You feel like, you know, that buzz and that plugged in guitar or that little bit of feedback is there. You can remove it from the rest of the track and just have it at a moment so that, like you were saying with your friend, creates the sense of reality. Yeah.
And it also keeps you involved. It doesn't, even though it's just noise, it's keeping you in that space between songs, you know?
Yeah, totally. All right, you want to try some deep breathing?
Yeah, let's give that a whirl.
I'm gonna have to run to the bathroom quickly, so I'm gonna throw you under the bus.
All right. So once again, this is something, I'm still on RX6. I need to upgrade at some point. And let me get zoomed in here. And also Pro Tools isn't my main DAW, so moving a little slower. But I do, like I said, we're gonna learn how to use the debreather here. So yeah, it's our breath. Let me just loop this area. That took off a little too far. Hope I'm not driving everyone crazy with my
you face it or
my slow Pro Tooling. Okay, so we got the vocal part. I made a little loop. It just went away. Let's make it back.
what you make and you face it, or you cover and you face it, or
okay. Let's come over here and we're going to go down to our iZotope and find the deep breath. Breath control mono. Brian May's sad, confused face if you told him you're about to take the noise away. Indeed. Somebody asked what DAW do I use. For mastering, I use two DAWs. I have Wavelab as my source playback system and Sadie as my capture, editing, master creation system. I have RX on both of them, but I usually use it as a standalone editor. I've used Pro Tools a lot. I did recording and mixing for years before mastering. I just don't use it every day anymore. Yes, Kevin Jackson, that is correct. All right.
can you face it, or you cover.
All right, so let's see what this does here. Gain target level. Once again, I'm gonna be learning how to use this here. Hovering over the knobs and buttons gives you some short explanation of what they can do. Maximum output level. Okay, let's turn that down a bit. Okay, so if you noticed, I put on the output breaths only. This is pretty crazy. It's So output breaths only when I hit play. It literally accept the breath. Watch. Crazy. All right, let's see what that sounds like.
And you face it, or you cover it up.
That really sucks the vocal or the breath down.
Can I hear it? Can I hear it? Can I hear it?
How it's able to determine the difference between singing and just a breath, I don't know. But I got to show you this real quick.
Please.
Output breath only. We didn't have to give it a fingerprint. It just somehow knows.
Bleeding Nora.
All right, now
Do that again. I got it. What?
Target real quick. You got gain and target level.
Yeah.
And what that does is adjust the level of the breath. Maximum output of breath detects the number of breaths. So
really? Do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
That's craziness.
What?
Hang on, I heard it do something. Never mind, it was just looping back. So let's put that back in and hear what it does to the breath.
And you face it, or you cover it up.
Which, without that...
And you face it, or you cover it.
That's insane.
Let's go down some more. Just exaggerate.
And you face it, or you cover it.
To me, that was
What?
too much. I could hear it releasing, but
it's still insane.
the fact that we didn't even have to tell it what to look for.
That's insane.
That is insane. That breath has halitosis. It's him.
It's not me. I'm not singing. I'm not that good of a singer.
And you face it, or you cover.
Okay, so how do I split the difference?
Let's just turn this guy down a bit.
Yeah, you got my bleeding Nora. Oh yeah, look, as some people say, we don't. It's a breathtaking plugin. Yay, Adam!
Well done. Well played, Adam.
This is fantastic. It's really, really good. But I don't. Yeah, breath control, exactly. There's no way I would take out the breaths entirely of a vocal. But
Right.
it
doesn't sound natural.
There was a girl we worked with, Alex Calise, Academy members. You'll remember Alex Calise. We exaggerated the breaths to give it this kind of passion. And then I listened to the album like a year later. Sorry, Alex, if you're listening. And I was like, I overdid it. I completely overdid it. And I almost want to just go back to that album and stick this on it. You know what I mean?
I wonder, and maybe the guys from iZotope could comment here, but once again, I'm still on RX6. I wonder how this works on a stereo mix. Not that I have a lot of need to remove a breath from a stereo mix, but sometimes there'll be like an empty spot in the middle of a break in the middle of a song, and there'll be a
yeah.
You know?
But I think that's what we're doing here. I think the way now that they've broken out onto all these separate modules, we're realizing that RX7, because I think we've always looked at it as kind of the last stop. You know, like, oh yeah, I'm going to buy that plugin because, you know, my mix has this, or my that has that, or I have you know, all of this kind of stuff. The reality is like now we're seeing that this is going to become a tool that I can use on all of my mixes. I can go, okay, I can control the breath now how I want it to be. I can now get rid of the buzz on my bass amp, which I'll never be able to do unless I like buy EMG pickups and completely change the sound of my bass.
give it its own power.
Yeah, and just like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just a huge, huge deal.
I'm pretty impressed with this breath control plugin.
Wow. RX7 can be used in stereo and surround now, so it works great.
Nice.
Nice. There's no off switch on the Genius switch. That is correct. Okay, as David Letterman would say. Okay, well, let's leave that on.
And you face it, or you cover.
I love that.
That's pretty crazy.
And you face it, or you cover it up.
Say again?
A little too much.
Yeah, and the delay compensation, is it on or off?
You're asking the wrong guy.
And you face it, or you
It does sound off.
take what you make. And
So I
you
got slid.
You take what you make and you face it, or you cover it up and you fake it. There's no other way.
So what I would do in this instance, and obviously everybody is going to know what to do, is I would just come up here, I would go to the breath control here, and I would just copy these settings. Is it literally as simple as what you did there?
Yeah,
That's so easy.
quite honestly.
So I would just come up here. We should have probably in this instance do it with, there you go. That was it. That's all you did?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, that's too easy.
I read what the controls were going to do first, but
okay,
essentially
good.
that's...
So I'll just do a duplicate playlist like this, and then I will audio suite it, and then I don't need this on, and Bob's your uncle.
You take what you make and you face it. Or you
There it is.
Wow.
There it is.
Um,
So it's as simple as that. That's where the audio suite comes in. And also, let's be honest, I mean, I could go here and I could get rid of instances of breaths and noises and clicks and all kinds of things all over the whole mix and just audio suite things. I just playlist it, audio suite it, and then I'm not even running plugins on everything.
yeah.
That was so easy to do.
In the past, a lot of times you wanted to do audio suite with noise reduction. Most noise reduction things are so process intensive that they rob a lot of your power. So they generally will even sound a little better in audio suite. Or they used to. Nowadays things are
Yeah, well, that's amazing.
so fast it doesn't matter.
All right, let's do another giveaway. So we're going to do 3. The third one, this is the second one. If you stick around for the third one, it's going to be 3 things. But at the moment, we're going to do the full RX7 giveaway and Warren's course, because Warren has a course on this. Isn't that wonderful? He's got a course on mastering. So that is pretty incredible. So we're going to give that as away as well, which is really rather lovely. But if you stick around for the third one, we're also going to give away a year's membership to the Academy.
Wow.
Every breath you take, iZotope will be watching you.
And they'll be designing software.
Yep. Victor says there's also a dialogue isolator as well.
Yeah, there's
Good
a
to
lot of
dress
really
the
great
stems
stuff.
before you mix. Exactly. This is really fantastic.
It is.
Yeah, really, really good. Okay, so what do we want to know? What do we want to know? We want to know. We found out whether you're using. So many people are already using RX, which is amazing. Paul Lucas says, "We'll decline your invitation to stop making good things." Yes, exactly. I don't even know what Paul's question was or Paul's comment was, but yes, exactly. No, this is absolutely fantastic. So, what do we want to know? This is interesting. We found out, the people that are using any kind of noise reduction overwhelmingly are already using iZotope. So that's a huge deal.
Which modules are they using the most? Other than the broadband noise?
I think
The ones that get a little more specific and a little more detailed, which ones are being used the most in mixing? For me, it's usually hum, broadband, and then I use the Spectral Editor
the thing is about our questions is we try to find out a lot about our community, and we also want everybody to be able to answer. So that would only be for people that are using it. So, yeah, Jacques, you want to win again?
Everybody wants to win again.
Clint says, how about a picky client remover? That's a good
It's
idea.
called the door.
So the question... Warren S.'s question is, how often do we need to repair? That's a pretty good one. At 13 ones, you have to enter to win if you want to get it. Some people say they use mainly the spectral denoise. I'm addicted to breathing, I'm afraid. Well, I'm addicted to it too. It's quite a useful thing to do. Deverb and denoise. I kind of want to try that deverb. Have you had that yet?
I've only messed with it. I've never had a need to use it.
Have you tried the declicker and all of that kind of stuff? Because we have a spoken word thing here. Let's have a listen.
Every day I wake up and go to war.
There's a little bit of reverb in that. Is that enough, do you think, to take it?
Every day I wake up and go to war with the ghost of who I once was.
Do you think that's not enough to really
Let's
make
try it
a
on the drums.
Try it on the drums?
Something that has a definite big room.
There's a very small drum kit, so I don't know if it does.
Rumors, they keep me up at night. Truth hurts.
I wonder if there's enough reverb to even worry about getting rid of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. I'm sure we could make it sound dead. You know what I mean?
That's what I want to hear, yeah.
Let's try it. Let's put it on there.
Rumors follow you wherever you go.
I actually did some cleanup around that to try and get rid of some of it.
Far, I do not know.
Say again?
Play that one more time, bro.
Has gone too far.
There's a click in there?
There's a click, right?
Yeah, let's get rid of that. You want to get rid of the click?
Yeah.
All right, let's get rid of the click. So let's do the quick giveaway before we go. So what do we want to know? What do I want to know? All right, Let's go for a dumb one. This is one for everybody. Which DAW are you using? I want to know, what DAW are you using? Every single person can answer this. And if you don't use a DAW and you're working on 2-inch tape, tell us what DAW is. The question is this, Brian. We didn't have a question. Now we do. What is the DAW? Because it's interesting. I want to know what you're using because, of course, a lot of people on Pro Tools, we've got tons of Reaper users, tons of Studio One users. And I think this is interesting for all of us to know. iZotope in particular is like, what is our audience? What is our community using? And if you haven't already, please hit that like button. Please hit like. That would be absolutely... God bless America and the rest of the world. Studio One. All right, let's do some declicking.
All right. So there's a couple ways that we could do this.
Please hit like, by the way, and if you can, share it. Let the world know what we're doing here. There's nearly 400 people here. It's amazing.
Wow.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's blowing up.
Has gone too far.
All right, so we've got a little tick in here. It's right about there, and it's not big, and I'm guessing if we put the music in, it'll probably mask it, but let's clean it
but
up.
this
Yeah,
is
let's
what we're
use it.
talking.
Has gone too far.
Yeah, but
So-
it's like it's probably
Yeah.
just in a.
Yeah, it's probably a lip smack or a tongue smack. It's not real loud, but it's in there.
Yeah.
So,
iZotope said, real iZotope fans, subscribe to Produce Like a Pro. Thank you. Please like and subscribe. That would be absolutely amazing.
so one of the quickest, easiest things is
Yeah.
the declick module. And basically you tell it single band means it's
Yeah.
not going to use multiple frequency bands. Periodic clicks, random clicks.
Eric?
If you're wanting to leave it on the track, you would have to use the low latency mode. Once again, these things use a lot of processing. We just have one click in there. That would be a random click. Okay, so we're going to go with that. Now, sensitivity, frequency skew, and the click widening.
Yeah.
Those are all fairly self-explanatory. Sensitivity. We're probably going to have to up the sensitivity because this is within the sound.
Right.
I'm also just going to go ahead and widen it a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it's a kind of a low mid-frequency click.
Oh, by the way, Neth said he uses needles and wax cylinders to record on. I'm very
Dedicated. All right, so with this, I should just be able to hit play, and by skewing the frequency and finding the width of this click, it should eventually get rid of it. Here, I'm going to start it back here.
Has gone too far.
And
I do not.
I hit stop. It's just a lot of latency.
Oh,
Once
okay,
again, this
right.
is why you want to use Audio Suite. Once
Yeah,
you
we'll
get your
order this video
settings.
afterwards. I just want to, yeah.
So, let's start it here. Okay, so I was listening to the output
Yeah.
only. So what we heard, the
Yeah, yeah.
is what it's going to remove.
Too far. Too far.
Thank you, Eric. Poured me a cup of coffee. It's my left-handed BAE mug. It's like they had the mugs made, and the only person that can see the logo is the person drinking from it if they're right-handed. So we call them left-handed mugs.
All right, so I'm going to bypass it. Once again, our click
Yeah.
is right about here.
Yeah.
Too far.
He goes, fuck.
Too
Yeah, yeah.
far.
Turn that off. The latency on this is a lot. It's a heavy processing.
Too far. Too far.
So we're moving it a bit.
Don't we want to skew the high frequency a little bit more, maybe? If
Go up there a little bit, yeah.
yeah, I think that will.
Too far. Too far.
Wow.
Yes. So
Too far.
that latency makes it keep playing after.
Doesn't
I
matter.
stop.
421 clicks repaired.
Now, if you think about
Wow.
that, it's probably looking at every little
Yeah.
tiny peak. So
Yeah.
this is one way to do it. This works really good if it's like vinyl clicks and stuff.
Oh, okay, right.
Not
right,
working
right.
as great with this. So do we
Okay.
have the option for the Spectral Editor here as a plugin? What's that? The big color thing?
It's under connect. If you go to
Oh crap! I got
Audio
it.
Suite and then connect, and you'll be able to send the WAV file into the send on them.
Go away.
Dum 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 dum. Isotope's down there.
Just
Connect.
Connect. Oop. What connect is going to do
Okay.
is reference repair. We want to repair.
You have to go. You're in Audio Suite, so you have to
Oh,
tell it to
right.
do things. There. Send. Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
So what that did was take the piece of audio selected. Should be flying it out to RX. for
Oh
us.
wow! This is really pretty. This is what.
Oh. I
Oh
probably
wow. Okay. Yeah, we
escape
really
that.
don't want to do that
Yeah.
because that's actually going to disappear outside the side
noticed
of our
that,
screen.
yeah. Okay.
But I'm sure. Can you just drag
Yep.
the end? There you go.
Okay.
Woohoo!
So real quick, we can look at it as a standard sound wave.
Oh, now we got everything. We've got
Yeah.
ambience match, breath control, center extract, de-bleed, declick, declip, decrackle, de-es, de-hum, de-plosive, de-reverb, de-rustle, de-wind.
De-rustle. It's for
Russell. When
there's
you
a-
don't want Russell
Yeah,
Brand.
I hate
if
when
you
Russell
don't
comes
want,
in.
If Russell Brand is singing with you alongside you, you can get rid of de-rustle.
The guys at iZotope have a serious problem with guys named Russell, and they built software completely around Russell.
No, it's a great
Okay,
idea.
Okay, anyway.
That's true though, because no, but it's interesting because I understand that because when you've got like
Somebody holding paper, that doesn't happen
Well,
as much anymore.
no,
'cause,
it's like people eating crisps and stuff like that. It's really strange. We have like interns coming and help us, and one of the biggest problems is like I'm sitting here listening. They'll come in with the food order and start, and I stop the playback, and I'm like I'm trying to mix, and I turn, I say, "Are you okay? Would you need any help?" And they're like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "You don't understand. We're sitting in between speakers, and any noise that's going on will just take you out of the moment." So that's actually a good one because that's one of my biggest pet peeves is that I'm trying to look for something that
The D-Music plugin. Okay, so we can look at the sound
Yeah.
wave as a standard waveform or a spectral waveform.
Wow.
What we're seeing here, and I'm going to adjust this. We can look at it a couple
that looks like
different ways.
magic to me. That looks like if this was like 1985, I'd be looking at it going, "Wow, what is that? Is that from the Alien movie?" You know what I mean? It's just
What you're seeing here is the harmonics of her vocal. There's a fundamental frequency of the voice,
wow.
roughly 300 something, and then the harmonics of that. And there's actually an
Wow.
editor in here that lets you edit by harmonics as well.
Wow.
So
Okay, I'm just like a kid.
now what I need to do, I need to take just a minute and actually set this up to something that I'm used to seeing.
Wow,
We're
that's
looking now,
amazing.
the color map.
Yeah.
We have a lot of different, and let me just click down. I'm just, yeah, that ain't gonna work. So there's a lot of different ways to look at it depending on the sound that you're looking for. If it's buried down in the noise. Once again, color is volume here.
Yep.
So I usually use this one, actually. Color is volume, so
Yep,
black would be
yep.
silence, white would be digital 0. We can see the harmonics there, and with this amplitude range low and high, we can set, imagine a volume meter, and we're saying,
Yep.
here's what I want to see the highest point, here's what I want to see the lowest point, and we can adjust that.
That's amazing.
So, as I turn this down, we're seeing into the quieter stuff, and we see the stuff that really sticks out that way. Okay, so let's just hit play.
Far.
And another thing that helps a lot is the frequency scale.
Yeah.
Linear scale means all frequencies equal, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Logarithmic is showing it based on size is the easiest
Right.
way to explain that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go somewhere in the middle for what we're doing. I already know it needs to be removed. I can see it.
Has gone too far.
And it is a very quiet click. You guys probably do need to use headphones for this. But this little area right here I can see.
Yeah.
I
Let's
zoom-
see if we can.
Ah,
There you go.
there you go.
So it's control and
Control.
option.
Okay,
It's that bit, yeah.
right. Now all we need
In
to
the
do...
middle there, so it's like these
And it's
little.
while she's singing. Now, traditionally, you try to edit that out, you're going to mess up her voice.
Oh, entirely.
What we're going to be able to do is go behind the voice, just remove that click, and we're not going to get those 400 little peaks from all of the transients
Wow.
going
So
with
that's 3K, 354,
it. Yeah, and
4.5.
it's also down here a little bit. more than likely that's going to get masked, though. This is probably our real issue.
Right.
But adjusting the screen to be able to see what we really want to see is a big issue here. And it's all about this high and low range and boosting it up. So I just want to kind of adjust. There we go. Now I can see that sticking out pretty nicely. Right there.
Sorry. Yeah. There you go. So you see those yellow dots? Do it one more time slowly so everybody can catch up. Right.
Right there.
But it's the brightest yellow ones.
It's the vertical line behind those horizontal. The horizontal lines are vocal harmonics, and then there's that little click there. So if you can see it right there. Let me hit play. You guys can listen for the click, and it's a quiet one, but
has gone too far.
Yeah, it's probably just in her voice.
Yeah, it is. It sounds like it's in her mouth, you know. So I'm just gonna go in and draw a box around it. There's different tools. Spectral editing is editing by time and frequency.
Oh wow.
Okay, so I'm not only if I was gonna do it by time.
Yeah.
It's like that standard editor. Okay.
Wow.
But what I'm gonna do is do it by time and frequency. Frequency is vertical. High frequencies are high, low frequencies are low. So all I'm going to do is put a little box around this little...
Lisa says it looks like the ultrasound she had with her kids. It's interesting.
I think it's actually fairly similar.
That makes some sense.
Yeah. Similar interpolation of the data anyway. But yeah, it's kind of the same idea.
It's amazing.
So what I'm going to do is find my spectral... Where is it here? Spectral Repair.
Okay.
Now, this gives us a couple different ways to work. We can just attenuate those frequencies,
right? Which
a lot of times is the most transparent way to do it. We can also completely remove it. Yeah. Now, notice when I opened this plugin, let me scoot this over here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna skew this really quick so it can see it. Notice when I open this plugin, we got these boxes around what's selected.
Yeah.
And what those are is the weighting. It's going to use the data that's in those boxes to replace what we remove.
Oh, wow.
So it doesn't just remove it. The whole thing with spectral editing is it doesn't just remove it. It replaces what used to be there. Okay?
Huge.
So we can do that in 4 different ways.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
It is quite amazing. I can take a cough out of a live symphony recording. In fact, the cough is incredibly easy. The hard part is the reverb because you have to go in. The reverb is loud, quiet. It's mixed in with the sound, so you got to go in and unpaint it. Is kind of how I word it. So anyway, we put a box around it. I changed my color so that you could see it.
Yeah.
Surrounding length. How much of it are you going to use?
Right.
Because this is right after where she starts singing, if it was a click that was right before a downbeat, we would have to, let's imagine there's a downbeat right after this click.
Yep.
We would have to say, go to that side.
Yeah.
And use the data in front of the click.
Okay.
If it's right after a downbeat or some noise there, use the stuff after the click. Since we don't need to do that, we're actually... Whoa, I'm sorry about that. Sorry, guys, wearing headphones.
Yep.
All I'm going to do is hit render now. Notice how I just went... Let me change my color back to where it was so it can be seen. Notice I've got a tick in the box there.
Is there any way to just zoom in here closer?
Yeah.
Because this... But I meant, like, make it the screen size so we're only looking at that area. There you go.
It starts to skew what you're seeing when you zoom in too far.
So maybe half split the difference?
This will work.
Okay.
Yeah, you can see that there.
Okay.
What we're trying to remove is this little click. And I'm actually going to tighten this up a little bit.
Is that visible to everybody? I'm looking at like a tiny screen up on the right here and I can see it. But yeah, let's try it.
Okay, so when I hit render, once again, it has to do with the surrounding region.
Yep.
Direction, 90% of the time is going to be horizontal.
Yep.
Sometimes if it's something long, you got to use vertical to replace.
Okay.
And then the strength is the main adjustment after getting your boxes set up. Boom. See how it just got quieter?
Yeah, that's amazing.
I'm using attenuate because it's so quiet already. Yep. Sometimes replacing it can give you some of those artifact sounds.
Oh, I see.
And takes longer. So I'm going to undo that real quick. Here it is with the tick.
Gone too far.
And then redo it.
It's gone too far.
Yeah, amazing.
Once again, that's not a real loud tick. We could find some other
Doesn't
examples.
matter. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and it just...
Thank you, Lemiko. So you can see it fine.
Once again, remember on the plugin, it was removing, we said remove ticks from this area, and it was removing 400 of them. And it's removing tiniest little things that you're not hearing. So the question is, like, Lisa's making a good point. Obviously, I would go in and like get rid of like the worst ticks. But I suppose the question is, if there's a reoccurring
in a voice, and
Yeah.
it's usually typical. And this is where we hear it the worst. 3 to 5K is where our ears are super, super sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
So my guess is that you could learn that information across the whole track.
What
So
do you
you
mean
could
by
go,
learn?
like, could you go in and like highlight like area? Is there a way
To do that,
there a way to do it?
we
on
would
a,
need to use the declick for that.
Okay,
This is
exactly.
the automated version.
Okay.
We would have to set the sensitivity, and in that case, we're going to be doing
Yep.
periodic clicks, constant. Like if
Right.
you're doing vinyl and there's a constant tick,
Perfect.
now you select the whole area, and you really got to set the sensitivity and everything correctly so that
Yeah.
it's not removing a bunch of stuff you don't want it to remove.
Totally. So Lisa, that sort of answers the question. So you would go in there, and with this girl's singer, she's fantastic, but we chose this vocal because there's
Yeah.
reoccurring issues with the clicks.
Mm-hmm.
And like we're saying, our ears are really sensitive between 3 to 5K.
Right.
And so
And this is great being able to do this with the soloed vocal track, by the way.
Yeah.
Normally, I'm doing it over the entire mix. And
oh my God, I can't believe the
it's
density.
It's a lot more. Let's just say that you really, really got to the amplitude high and low range means
Right.
so much to even be able to see what you're wanting to see.
Wow, that's amazing. I don't think, Tom, that's up to us to write good music. We can't do the D-suck. We have to do good music. But this is really, really exciting. Again, this is why I like the idea of using this on individual elements. Because I think for the longest time, people have looked at this as being a tool on a 2-track mix or only in a worst case scenario. But as we just saw, you do this initially on the actual track itself, then all your processing afterwards is going to be fantastic.
Right. Absolutely.
Absolutely fantastic, because the processing normally amplifies all the issues.
Let me, real quick,
Yep.
since we're looking at this, I want to show you something cool. So what we're looking at here is her vocal. That's the fundamental frequency of her vocal and the harmonics
Yep.
of it. Since we have our
Which is just
Spectral-
absolutely amazing that I can see that.
isn't that cool?
It's insane.
You should see a synth part. Synth parts that are going like and doing those weird sounds.
Oh.
They look like art. They just look beautiful. Okay, so let's say we had somebody walk in the room and go, "Hey,
Yeah.
phone call."
Yeah.
We could actually remove that if necessary. If everything about that track was the perfect take, except this jerk walking in and talking, we could get
Wow.
rid of it, and we could do it pretty precisely by.
Oh.
So once again, we're gonna have to use the frequency editing tool.
Yeah.
And we're gonna highlight this fundamental frequency, and I'm doing this as an example, so I'm not
Yeah.
gonna get too carried away with it as far as tools go.
Yeah.
Harmonic Tool, this guy. Boom.
Yeah.
Which harmonics do we want to? Notice I just put a box around the first harmonic.
Yeah.
Let's say the fourth harmonic really sticks out. And
Wow.
The sixth harmonic really sticks out.
Wow.
And sometimes you have to adjust those a little bit to make everything fit. Oops, come here. And I'm just going to randomly click a few so that they're obvious.
Wow.
But notice if I drag that up, it should move those with it. I probably have to reopen it.
Yeah.
Anyway. So yeah. I'm going to go ahead and replace that. And with the gates on either side of it,
Yeah.
I've selected a longer piece right now.
Yeah.
So, let me reselect these harmonics. So, I need to have a longer surrounding region.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
And there's silence on this side, but there's vocals there. That's good, because it's going to be a mix of the two.
Okay.
All right? We render that. Oh.
Wow.
Here it is with it in there.
Gone too far. Gone too far.
Once again, we've only removed certain harmonics. If we needed to go in... Actually, check this out. If we... Where'd it go? There it is. Multi-resolution, since we're using...
Yep.
We're doing bass frequencies, mid frequencies, everything, so I
Yep.
should have hit multi-resolution on that, and it will probably give us a little more extreme of an effect, because it will use different resolutions for different frequencies. Boom. Notice how it removed that?
Wow.
So, if we go into the harmonic mode now...
I'm like a big kid here. I'm all like,
and we
just-
render that,
it's
boom,
just,
multiple resolution.
growing
remove-
up on tape like I did. You know what I mean?
Has gone too far.
Removing the fundamental and a couple of harmonics completely changes the voice.
Wow. I mean, this is
A voice is nothing but harmonics.
who needs EQs anymore?
quite honestly, you can kind of
You can shape the vocal like entirely. Oh dear.
RX. What I want to be able to do is turn things up. By the way,
Right.
I want to be able to, let's say we have a downbeat
Yeah.
and the snare drum was too quiet on
Yeah.
that one hit. I want to be able to grab that transient and actually enhance its volume.
Wow.
Can you make that for me?
Wow. Wow. There you go.
Or does this already do that? Is it something that I haven't seen in
There you
on
go.
the new version?
Yeah, iZotope. That was a bit of a tough one there. That's
So
absolutely
this is amazing, by the way. Spectral editing amazes me. I love.
I don't think, honestly, if you're colorblind, it's not going to make a difference because you see how.
And you're able to use these different color
Yeah,
schemes.
look, if you go to black and white or used
Or iris to.
no, that's just two colors.
Right.
So you're going to see a light and dark. So basically,
black and here's black and white.
there's black and white. So you don't have to be. You don't have to.
It's still separating it out into
It's still
different,
separated.
different
I
parts.
could work in that as black and white because it's still obvious that fundamental is
You can
there.
still see the remnants
Yeah.
of that tick,
Yeah.
even though we've removed it audibly.
Yeah.
Actually, we didn't. It's gone back to initial state. So, anyway.
That's absolutely amazing. Well, so please like and share. This has been absolutely amazing. Thank you, iZotope. Unbelievable. We have 300 odd people
Absolutely.
watching. We have 222 likes. If you could hit the like button. This is the big one.
Hello.
So what we're going to do now is we're going to give away a copy of this. We're going to give a copy away of actually one of Warren's courses. In fact, two of your courses we're giving away. And we're going to give away a year's membership to the Academy. Wow,
That's awesome.
what do we want to know? We've talked about DAWs that you use. We talked about whether anybody's used this kind of software before. The question is, what else do I want to know?
I'm trying to think of.
This is about finding out about our audience. It's interesting how many people were using like Reaper and Studio One. A huge amount of people these days. It's not just dominated by Pro Tools, etc. Although there's a lot of people.
A lot of people really like Reaper. I've heard a lot of it has so many options.
Right, totally.
You can work however you want.
Happy to be one of the odd people watching. Sean, I'm one of the odd people. I am an odd person. So what else do we want to know? I'd like to know a little bit more about, how many people here, what do you do? Okay, here's a good one. What is your primary focus? Yeah, are you a producer / engineer mixer guy or girl? Are you an engineer only? Are you a mastering engineer?
They use RX a ton in post work.
In post, does anybody here do post?
Voiceover and post work.
Are you a songwriter who's learning how to produce your thing? I think ultimately, what is your emphasis?
Kind of neat.
Yeah.
That's a little restrictive,
Too
as
restrictive.
far as like some.
far too restrictive. So basically, we want to know a little bit more about you. What is your primary focus? Are you a singer? Are you a songwriter? So you've got producer, writer. What is your focus?
Hey, Mike.
Alexander said he likes quiet walks in the park. Well, that's lovely. Yes.
You would love the noise
mixing.
reduction then.
Yeah. What is your focus? Mark Holden is a factory worker, so you come home and this is a hobby. I think
What do
we
you
all
work
love this. Football coach. I like this.
Producer, mixer.
Live sound. Yeah.
Does,
Home recordist, composer and producer, songwriter and post. Nice. Producer, player, musician.
Software developer. That's
Software
interesting.
developer. Oh, email me at warren@producelikeapro.com if you're a software developer.
The man's got ideas.
Yeah. Well, if anybody watching is a web developer, that's who we need to talk to. With web developer and video editors, we're also interested in. Drummers, songwriters, mannequin poser. Now, thank you, Mark. Let's see if Matt has a sense of humor while choosing. All of the above. That's a good answer. That's a good answer because that's sort of me. I'm a guitar player first, then I became a songwriter, then I became an engineer, then I became a producer, then I became a mixer, and I like that. Wedding minister and engineer.
Kind of
That's
my
beautiful.
story as well, except where you went producer, I went mastering.
Did you start as a guitar player?
Yeah. That's how I got into
we should
music.
jam after this then. Computer network engineer, teacher and artist, songwriter, semi-retired while teaching guitar and other instruments, but still working on writing and your own songs on your wives. Phone app developer. Jax. Live programming musician, live engineer
Web
button.
designer.
Stay-at-home dad. Lovely. Dad. home recording singer, pianist, guitarist, app developer, wannabe producer. Jan, you web developer for 20 years. Oh, all these webs guys, you need to talk to us. And video editor too, says 17 Main Design. Hit us up. But unimplied for now. Well, if you're doing music, Platt fan, that's very nice of you. Mouse driver. Botanist.
Kind of a cool name for a band.
Dabbled in web developing. Bruce says an idiot. No, it's my job. I'm the idiot here, okay? Sound engineer. Not hardly says he's disabled. That's Jan.
Electrical engineer. I wish I had more of a background in electrical engineering as far as understanding the internals of gear.
I dress as Spider-Man sometimes, and that is considered a web developer. Okay.
Well played.
iZotope. This must be their social media person, says glorified meme curator. Nice. If you're looking for some extra meme curation, I marry people and words and music. Parlor. He's a wedding minister. Movie lighting and guitarist and songwriter. Beautiful. Conduit for the energy of the universe. That's rather nice.
On air.
Up and coming comic, says Ronnie. Audio and post-production sound design 24/7. He uses RX every day, says Randy. Lovely.
Yeah, I know they use it a lot in post.
Yeah, wonderful. Sound gardener. I like that one. Truck driver. I am not a drummer. I'm an idiot, and so is my wife. Oh, I know that now. That
was What We Need.
Monty Python.
What we?
No, it's not Monty Python. That's Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It's like, is there a Paul Smith here? Yes, I'm Paul Smith, and so is my wife. And so they can get on the ship to leave the Earth before it's hit.
I've seen it. It's been a long time.
I trade web work for pleb membership and mentoring. Okay, Nate, you've got it. That is a deal. Trying to be a mixing engineer. If you're mixing, you're a mix engineer. Zarg says he's a village idiot. And once again, that is my job. Stop trying to steal it. I am the village idiot. Will Meyer laughs out. Home studio singer, guitar player. Doctor Who. Yes, I'm 975. Thank you for guessing my age. Well, wonderful. Matt, are we choosing somebody? Graphic designer, guitar player, learning to produce and mix. John Moore once said he's a record and mix live bands. Lovely. Congratulations, John. John won not only RX, he also won Warren's courses, and he also won a free year's membership.
Congratulations.
To the Academy. It's absolutely amazing. What can we finish on? I mean, this is obviously the flagship, amazing thing. But
real quick, let's...
I want to do
once we get this done, we hit send back. And it should fly it back over there for us. Render to commit change. Boom. Now we're...
Has gone too far.
I still heard it.
Oh, that's because you did a whole different thing.
Oh!
Yeah.
Well, no, I processed it on there.
Okay.
RX Connect.
Yeah, well, I think we changed all the settings. And
oh,
all that
you're
kind of
right.
stuff.
You're 100% right.
Yeah. Yeah, we changed everything and didn't do that. Okay, so that's fine. But anyway, it did put it back exactly in time.
Yeah,
God bless America.
Great.
That's a huge deal. One of the things, and I won't mention the company's name, but we all know the company. One of the things that sometimes there's a few companies that I take stuff out of and I use independently and I drop it back in and it's totally out of time and I have to sit there and move it.
Yep.
I won't say who it is. We all know who it is. That doesn't. And that's huge because the last thing I want to do is have to retime everything.
Right. It just saves so much time to have to put it back in there for you.
So let's... Is there an RX Advanced? I don't know. That's a good question. Can we try and do the de-reverb one?
Yeah. Let's get a track with some real verb going on it, though.
Say it?
There's a shotgun mic.
Shotgun mic?
That is an interview with you and...
There it is.
Okay, shotgun mic with me and Joey Sturgis.
Looks like it didn't close RX. It just sent the track back there.
Okay, so... We've learned a lot from it. Actually, it's been wonderful having you here because your company... That's got lots of issues.
Yeah, that's a good reason.
That's got a lot of issues. So let's just start by, first of all, getting rid of some of that room tone.
Okay.
That's crazy. That must really, really help because quite often I remember doing production sound stuff and we'd always record room tone.
Mm-hmm.
And either to remove it or to add it when they were doing voiceovers. and they wanted to add it back, because there's nothing worse than fixing something in post and not having the room tone available. So when I was doing production sound, I would, be booming and recording that as well. I've had many lives, by the way, if anybody know me. That's why I'm 975 years old. When I first moved to Los Angeles as a musician, because I was also as an engineer and stuff, I used to do production sound. So I used to record and do stuff like that. Yeah, it was great. It's a great world. So I want to hear that output, the reverb only. I want to see you do this.
Yeah, let me just, once again, I've never used this module before, so...
Good.
Let me just look this
That's
over.
the whole idea. That's the reason why we do this, to realize that we're total idiots, or at least I am.
Nice. So it's got that same smoothing artifact removal.
Great.
Which is nice.
So there's...
self-explanatory there. So we got different frequencies of the
Yep.
reverb, so
Yep.
if the low end is ringing
Yep.
out, that can be a problem. People put the kick drum into
Yep.
the reverb as well, and so it
Sure.
starts booming out, and it looks like you can just remove that alone, which
That's
is Which is
fantastic.
great. I wonder if you're able to set the frequencies for that.
We've learned a lot.
Okay, so it does have a learn button here.
Okay.
So let's find an area that is...
I was probably edited out, but let's have a listen.
Oh.
It's there, yeah.
Because your company does work really
You can hear it. Oh, we can hear that fighting it. That's what it is. Okay, so let's learn this guy.
You have to press play. It's not audio. It's definitely learning it a lot.
Okay.
wonderful having you here because your company does wonderful having you here because your company does wonderful having you here because your company does work. Wonderful having you here because your company does work. Wonderful having you here because your company does work. Wonderful having you here because your company does work. Wonderful having you here because your company does work. Wonderful having you here because your company does work. Wonderful having you here because your company does work. Wonderful having you here because your company does work. Wonderful having Wonderful having you here because your company does work. Wonderful having you here because your company does work. Wonderful having you here because your company does work. Wonderful having you here because your company does. Wonderful having you here because your company does work. Wonderful having you here because. We've learned a lot from it. Actually, it's been wonderful having you here because your company does work really smoothly. I'm very impressed with what you did, the professionalism of your staff. Everybody was on time. Everybody was, had their jobs dialed in. So,
Yeah. I mean, we've been
it's a tribute to you.
Thank you. We've been doing it for a while, and we really care about, our mission, and that is to build the next generation of audio professionals. That's what we're here to do, and that's what we're committed to. So we've not only done that with our program, but also inside of our company. So some people, they want to be audio professionals, but maybe not in the same way that you and I do, like working on albums. They're professional, like video guy in the audio industry. So we help build up our employees and our company inside internally as well, because we know that, if they're, thriving, then so are we. And, we're just trying to find, the best ways to educate people. And I think Nail the Mix is a program where it's unparalleled. Like, you can't teach someone how to mix by showing them how to mix one song. It has to be continually new material because music is always changing and mix is always changing. And now there's hybrids and all kinds of in between. So really the best way to learn is to absorb all the...
So we can talk.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's tweaking like crazy, so that's the reason why you didn't hear us anything for 2 minutes.
Sorry.
As somebody was pointing out earlier, when we play it back, you don't hear the mics and stuff like that. So what did you do?
So what I was doing, once again, the first time I've used this, so I was going through and learning it a bit. From what I can tell, the tail length and the reduction
Yeah.
You know, obviously that's where we're removing reverb, so the tail length and the reduction really make a difference. But the tail length in itself seemed to really make a big difference on the release of it. And so we weren't, in order to not get the pumping of the different frequencies and trying to keep it smooth and natural.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's pretty cool. It's pretty amazing. I'm guessing it probably works best on longer reverbs. Now that's just a guess.
Yeah, but
just because of the way it was playing and the release time of it.
But it's pretty awesome.
Pretty amazing, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's let's have a listen.
It's absolutely.
We've learned a lot from it. Actually, it's been wonderful having you here because your company does.
And his bypass.
We've learned a lot from it. Actually, it's been wonderful having you here because.
Now back on.
We've learned a lot from it. Actually, it's been wonderful having you here because.
Down on that one up, maybe.
This one down.
Yeah, a little less there. And
a little more high
down.
mid.
We've learned a lot from it. Actually, it's been wonderful having you here because your company does work really smoothly. I'm very.
That's amazing.
We've learned a lot from it. Actually, it's been wonderful having you here because your company.
Say it again.
I can hear it trying to preserve what's in between the voice which brings out the noise. You know what I mean? So I'm guessing this and the denoise would probably be played together and post a lot.
Yeah, and what I would do with this is like do this first and then process afterwards.
Right.
I'd probably now like EQ and bring up some high mids.
Mm-hmm.
We've learned a lot from it. Actually, it's been wonderful having you here because your company does work really smoothly. I'm very impressed with what you did. The professionalism of your staff. Everybody was on time. Everybody was, had their jobs.
So we're splitting the difference between the effect and what it's doing and not doing.
We've learned a lot from it. Actually, it's been wonderful having you here because your company does work really smoothly. I'm very impressed with what you did.
Now it's bypass it.
We've learned a lot from it. Actually, it's been wonderful having you here because.
Yeah, it's like I was close to the bathroom and now I'm not in the bathroom. Here's slightly with my head inside the bathroom door.
We've learned a lot from it. Actually, it's been wonderful having you here because.
And here's me out of the other side of the bathroom door.
We've learned a lot from it. Actually, it's been wonderful having you here because your company does work really smoothly. I'm very impressed with what you did.
Yeah, I mean, for things like podcasts and stuff like that, that's going to be pretty huge. And the software, as John Moore says, this software is magical. It's pretty insane what it's doing here. Pretty darn insane.
That could be used as kind of a cool effect, too.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? By extremely changing the band, rather than just always using it as a tool. Things like this can sometimes be cool to use as an effect.
Well, everybody, you've been absolutely amazing. We're going a little bit longer. There's 300 people watching. We have... My phone is about to die. We have 246 people on... 246 likes. If you could hit that like button, that would be absolutely amazing. Thank you ever so much. This is really, really fantastic. I think if we were doing, something with really massive excessive reverb, rather something, because this is pretty subtle.
It's also fighting the noise that's in there.
Yeah,
if we did noise reduction first and then this, it would probably have an easier time differentiating verb and voice.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. Thank you, everybody. Please hit that like button. Afterwards, if you have more questions, please leave some questions underneath. It's been absolutely amazing having you here. Congratulations to everybody that won a free copy. And welcome to our new Academy member. And you all rock. And check out not only the software, which is available underneath, check out the Academy, check out Warren's courses, check it all out. You are all amazing.
Thank you very much, Internet.
Have a marvelous time recording and mixing. I'm going back to just the camera here. We're going to shut down. Thank you. You all rock.
Thank you very much.
Speak to all again. Have a marvelous time.